Look around you. Everything you have, or don't have, is a result of your choices. Your thoughts, your surroundings, your willingness to rise, or your willingness to settle. And here's the brutal truth. Most people never rise. Most people die long before their heart stops beating. They let fear dictate their decisions. They shrink their dreams to fit inside someone else's expectations. They trade ambition for comfort and call it being realistic. But what if you couldn't fail? What if failure was an illusion? What if the only real mistake was never trying? Would you finally take that risk? Start that business? Become the person you've always known you were meant to be? Or would you still hesitate? This is not a course. This is not some cheap motivation designed to give you a 5-minute high before you go back to your old ways. This is a reckoning. Over the next 8 lessons, you will be forced to confront yourself in ways you never have before. You'll be forced to question the lies you've believed about success, fear, and failure. You will be pushed to the edge of your comfort zone and then shoved off the cliff. Because the truth is, you have been playing small. You have been trapped in a prison you don't even see. But the door? It has been open this entire time. All you have to do is step through it. But understand this. This journey is not for the weak. You will have to face your fears. You will have to let go of the version of yourself that has been holding you back. And above all, you will have to be willing to pay the price for greatness. So before you continue, ask yourself one question. Do you want to stay comfortable? Or do you want to be free? Because you cannot have both. If you are ready to step into a new reality, one where success is not just possible, but inevitable, then let's begin. And remember, the only failure in life is refusing to rise. On fire. Lesson 1. What would you do if you couldn't fail? What if I told you that everything you fear is a lie? Not just a mistake, not just a misunderstanding, but a carefully designed illusion, a mirage crafted to keep you weak. You were trained to believe in failure, programmed to fear it, to avoid it, to let it control your every decision. You've been conditioned to stay small, to stay within the lines, to never step beyond the borders of what is safe. But let's cut through the deception. Who benefits from your fear? Certainly not you. Fear was never meant to protect you. It was meant to control you, to keep you docile, obedient, too scared to take what is yours. Now let me ask you a question that will haunt you for the rest of your life. What if you couldn't fail? Not, what if you had a little more confidence? Not, what if you had more time, more money, more talent? No. I mean, what if it was impossible for you to fail? Would you finally chase the life you dream about before you drag yourself out of bed and into another day of quiet misery? Would you finally stop waiting for the right moment and become the right moment? Or would you still hesitate, still make excuses, still cling to the comforting prison of doubt because it's all you've ever known? Let's not pretend. Most people will never move. They will spend their entire lives hiding behind the excuse of failure, waiting for a guarantee that will never come. They will die with their dreams still inside them, rotting, decayed, buried in the same dirt that will swallow their lifeless bodies. But you are here because something inside of you refuses to stay asleep. Something inside you is clawing at the walls of your existence, demanding that you wake up, that you rise, that you take control. So hear me now, and hear me well. Failure is an illusion. It does not exist. It never did. It was invented to keep you afraid, to keep you from realizing the truth. Every setback is a lesson. Every fall is a stepping stone. Every rejection is just a redirection. There are only 2 types of people in this world: those who let fear dictate their fate, and those who burn fear to the ground and walk through the ashes into greatness. Which one are you? Because I promise you this, your excuses will run out before your life does. You can wait. You can hesitate. You can tell yourself that you're not ready. And while you do that, time will devour you. Opportunities will slip through your fingers like sand. Doors will close that you never even had the courage to knock on. Or you can decide, right here, right now, that failure is not real. That the only failure is never trying. The only thing standing between you and the life you crave is the lie that you are not capable. The lie that you are not worthy. The lie that failure is something to be feared. Rip the blindfold off. See the world for what it truly is. A battlefield where only those who move forward win. So I ask you again, what would you do if you couldn't fail? Because after today, that's not a question. That is your reality. And the only thing left for you to do is take what's yours. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more fearing. Move. Now on fire. Lesson 2. Fear is stopping you from winning. There's a parasite in your mind. A whispering, slithering voice that wraps itself around your thoughts like a serpent, tightening its grip every time you try to step forward. It doesn't shout. No, that would be too obvious. It speaks softly, disguising itself as wisdom, as logic, as realism. What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you're not good enough? And you listen. You always listen. You let the parasite coil itself around your ambition. Let it strangle your dreams before they ever take their first breath. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. You think you're playing it safe. You think you're being responsible. But what you're really doing is rotting. Every time you let fear dictate your choices, you decay a little more. Your potential fades. Your fire dims. You become just another ghost wandering through life, shackled by the chains you placed on yourself. And here's the brutal truth. Fear is not the enemy. You are. Fear is just a signal, a response, a spark. It's what you do with it that defines you. Some will feel fear and use it as a cage. Others will feel fear and use it as fuel. So, which one are you? Because make no mistake, fear will always be there. It will be there when you wake up. It will be there when you look in the mirror. It will be there when opportunity knocks, whispering, begging you to stay small. But fear only has power if you obey it. Right now, I want you to picture your greatest ambition. Not a wish, not a half-hearted hope. I mean the thing that sets your soul on fire. The version of yourself that is unstoppable. The version that commands respect. The version that walks through life like a king, like a queen, untouchable, undeniable. Now tell me, what is standing in your way? It's not your past. It's not your resources. It's not your circumstances. It's fear. Fear that you might fail. Fear that you might look foolish. Fear that you might actually succeed, and then have to face the weight of responsibility that comes with greatness. But, listen to me. No one remembers the cowards. No one sings songs about the people who sat in silence, waiting for permission to be great. The world is built by those who were afraid and moved forward anyway. So I'll ask you again, what is standing in your way? And this time, answer honestly, not with your excuses, not with your rehearsed justifications. Answer from the place deep inside you that knows the truth. Because the only thing stopping you is you. And the only thing left to do is fight. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when the fear magically disappears. Now rip fear from your mind like a parasite and watch how fast the world bends to your will. This is your moment, your chance. The question is, will you take it? Or will you let fear win? Because if you do, it won't just steal your dreams. It will steal you. Move. Before there's nothing left of you to move. On fire. Lesson 3. The power of thinking big. You've been lied to since the moment you could understand language. They told you to be realistic. They told you to aim small. They told you to stay in your lane. And you obeyed. You shrunk your dreams to fit inside a tiny box of expectations. You cut off pieces of yourself to be practical. You traded ambition for acceptance. And now you wonder why life feels so empty. Why you wake up every morning with a vague, gnawing sense of dissatisfaction. I'll tell you why. Because you were never meant to think small. Thinking small is a disease, a virus, a slow creeping rot that infects your soul and convinces you that good enough is enough. That surviving is the same as living. That wanting more is somehow selfish, reckless, or foolish. But tell me this, who benefits from your small thinking? Not you. Not the people who depend on you. The only ones who benefit from you staying small are the ones who fear what you could become. Because small thinking creates slaves, but big thinking creates leaders. So I ask you now, what if you dared to think bigger? What if you didn't just want success, but domination? What if you didn't just want security, but freedom? What if you didn't just want comfort, but power? No one is going to hand you permission to be great. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, it's your turn to rise. If you want more, you have to take it. And the first step, you must expand your mind. Because your world is a reflection of your thoughts. Think small, live small. Think big, live limitless. Understand this. Every empire began as a thought. Every fortune started as an idea. Every legend was once just a person who refused to think small. So I'll ask you again, what if you dared to think bigger? If your goals don't terrify you, they are too small. If your dreams don't make people scoff, they are too weak. If your vision doesn't shake you to your core, it is not enough. And here's the real question. Are you willing to kill the small version of yourself? To become something greater? Because the moment you let go of your small thinking, you are no longer one of them. You become a threat, a force, a storm that cannot be contained. And suddenly, the world is yours to shape, but only if you choose it. Only if you burn your small thinking to the ground and rise from its ashes. So tell me, will you? Or will you stay in the shadows, comfortable in your smallness, while others carve their names into history? Because the world belongs to those who dare to think big. Lesson 4. Your thoughts shape your future. Look around you. Everything you see, every empire, every fortune, every revolution, began in someone's mind. The walls that trap you, they were built inside your head long before they ever appeared in your life. And that's the truth. They don't want you to know. You are not trapped by your circumstances. You are trapped by your thoughts. Your mind is the architect of your reality. But here's the real question. Who is in control of your mind? Is it you? Or is it the world? Because every single day, something is shaping your thoughts. The news you consume, the music you listen to, the conversations you tolerate, the people you surround yourself with. Most of you, you've never had an original thought in your life. You're just repeating what you've been fed since childhood, running the same mental programs that were installed in you without your permission. And you wonder why you feel powerless. But hear me now. Your mind is a weapon, And the only way to control a man is to convince him to put his own weapon down. If you don't take control of your thoughts, someone else will. And when that happens, you don't live life. You just exist. You become a puppet, a shadow, a mindless cog in a machine built by people who have already mastered what you refuse to learn. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because here's the greatest secret of all. If you control your mind, you control your life. The thoughts you think today become the actions you take tomorrow. The actions you take tomorrow become the habits that define you. And those habits, they dictate your entire destiny. So tell me, what do you think about when no one's watching? Do you think about your goals, your vision, the empire you will build? Or do you think about excuses? Do you replay the past like a broken record, drowning in regret, while your future rots in the corner? Because the truth is simple. Your future is nothing more than a reflection of your thoughts. If your mind is weak, your life will be weak. If your mind is undisciplined, your actions will be sloppy. If your mind is ruled by fear, your reality will be a prison. But if your mind is powerful, then your world is limitless. So I ask you, who are you going to become? The person who lets their mind control them? The person who drifts through life, reacting instead of creating? Or the person who masters their thoughts and bends reality to their will? You have the power to shape your future, but only if you take the first step. And that step is this. Take back control. Filter your thoughts like a king guards his castle. Eliminate distractions like a surgeon cuts away the diseased. Feed your mind with discipline, with focus, with fire. Because in the end, the world belongs to those who think with purpose. So choose. Remain a prisoner to the weak, fearful thoughts that were planted in you, or burn them to the ground and create a future of your own design. Your mind is your weapon. Sharpen it, wield it, or be destroyed by it. On fire. Lesson 5. Change your input. Change your life. You are not who you think you are. You are what you consume. Not just food, not just water. I'm talking about everything. The thoughts you feed your mind, the words you let into your ears, the energy you allow into your space. These things shape you more than you realize. And here's the harsh truth. Most of you have been feeding on garbage. You drown in cheap entertainment, numbing yourself with distractions. You surround yourself with weak-minded people who do nothing but complain. You let the news, the media, and social networks flood your brain with fear, division, and hopelessness. And then you wonder why you feel lost. Your mind is not broken. Your spirit is not weak. You're simply being poisoned. Slowly, silently, every single day. But let's make one thing clear. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to reach into your brain and remove the toxic thoughts you've been absorbing. No one is going to filter out the negativity for you. That is your job. That is your responsibility. And if you don't do it, you will drown in the same filth that buries the rest of the world. You must become the gatekeeper of your mind. You must be ruthless about what you allow into your consciousness. Because what you put in is what you get out. Listen to losers, and you will think like a loser. Surround yourself with weakness, and you will become weak. Indulge in mediocrity, and you will drown in it. But listen to greatness, and you will begin to think like the great. Surround yourself with killers, and you will develop the mindset of a warrior. Consume wisdom, power, discipline, and you will become unstoppable. This is not about motivation. This is not about feeling inspired for 5 minutes and then going back to the same dead routine. This is about reprogramming your life at the source. Because make no mistake, you are being programmed. Every day, with every piece of content you consume, with every conversation you have, you are being shaped. And if you are not careful, that shaping will turn you into another mindless drone, docile, distracted, and defeated. So I ask you, what are you feeding your mind? Are you consuming knowledge that strengthens you, or distractions that drain you? Are you surrounding yourself with warriors or with victims? Are you programming your mind for success or for failure? There is no middle ground. There is no neutral. You are either rising or rotting. And right now, you have a choice. You can continue letting the world pollute your mind, feeding off whatever garbage is thrown your way. Or you can take control. You can choose powerful thoughts. You can choose wisdom over distraction. You can choose to surround yourself with people who challenge you, push you, force you to grow. You can choose to cut off everything that weakens you. Yes, that means turning off the noise. Yes, that means distancing yourself from weak people. Yes, that means being alone for a while. Because the path to power is not a crowded one. But the reward is freedom. The reward is greatness. The reward is becoming the person you were meant to be before the world filled your head with poison. So tell me, are you going to clean your mind, or will you let it rot? Because if you don't choose, the world will choose for you. And I promise you, it will not choose in your favor. Change your input, change your mind, change your life, or stay where you are and watch your potential rot on fire. Lesson 6. The price of success. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants to wake up one day and suddenly be the person they were destined to become. But here's what most people don't want: the price that comes with it. Because success isn't given. It isn't found. It isn't wished into existence. It is earned. And the cost? The cost is everything you are right now. Success demands sacrifice. It does not negotiate. It does not offer discounts. It does not give handouts. It wants your excuses. It wants your comfort. It wants the part of you that still clings to weakness, to laziness, to the idea that somehow you can have it all without giving anything up. But let's get one thing straight. You will pay. The question is, what will you pay with? Will you pay with discipline, with effort, with relentless obsession for the life you claim to want? Or will you pay with regret? With the slow, agonizing realization that you wasted your only shot, that you traded your potential for comfort, that you let fear and laziness rob you of everything you could have been? Because make no mistake, one way or another, you will pay. There is no escaping the price. You either pay it now, or you pay for the rest of your life. Look around you. Look at the people who gave up. The ones who let time strip them of their dreams. The ones who wake up every day hating their own reflection, knowing deep down that they could have been more. They paid. They paid with a lifetime of mediocrity, with nights spent staring at the ceiling, haunted by the ghosts of the dreams they abandoned. And that is the highest price of all. So tell me, what are you willing to give up? Because if you are not ready to sacrifice, you are not ready to win. You cannot hold on to your excuses and your ambitions at the same time. You cannot stay comfortable and become great. You cannot cling to your old self and step into your power. Something has to die for something greater to be born. And the truth? Most people are too weak to kill the version of themselves that keeps them small. They are too attached to their habits, their distractions, their false sense of security. They would rather suffer in familiarity than risk the unknown. But you are standing at the edge of a choice. You either let go of the person you are today, or you let go of the person you could become. And if you hesitate, if you refuse to pay the price, then understand this. There is someone out there who will. There is someone out there who will put in the work you avoid. Someone who will wake up earlier, push harder, sacrifice more. And while you're making excuses, they will be taking everything you ever wanted. Success will not wait for you. It will move forward with or without you. So decide. Will you sacrifice today so you can reign tomorrow? Or will you let another year slip by, clinging to your comfort, until one day you wake up and realize you are just another name on the list of forgotten people who almost made it? The choice is yours. But just know, the price of greatness is far less than the price of regret. Lesson 7. The hardest work is thinking. Most people think they work hard. They lift heavy. They grind at a job they hate. They spend hours sweating, struggling, pushing their limits in the physical world. But tell me, when was the last time you actually sat in silence and thought? Not scrolled, not distracted yourself with noise, not reacted to whatever chaos the world threw at you. I mean thought, deeply, intentionally, ruthlessly. Because I promise you this, thinking is the hardest work there is. That's why most people never do it. They drift, they react, they exist, but they don't think. They let the world tell them who they are. They let their environment dictate their reality. They let society inject thoughts into their mind, never questioning, never challenging, never asking the most important question of all: who am I? Because if you ever truly stopped and thought about that question, you would become dangerous. You would realize that every limitation you accept is a lie. You would see that the path you're on was never chosen by you. It was assigned. You would wake up and understand that the world wants you weak, distracted, and afraid. Because the moment you start thinking for yourself, you become uncontrollable. That's why they keep you busy. That's why they flood you with meaningless content, worthless distractions, endless noise. Because the last thing they want is for you to sit in silence and actually use the mind you were given. Because when you do, you realize you can create your own reality. You realize you don't have to accept the script they handed you. You don't have to follow their rules. You don't have to think like the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is weak. The strongest, most successful people in history, they all had one thing in common. They knew how to think. They understood that before you can build anything in the world, you must first build it in your mind. Before you conquer anything out there, you must first conquer the battlefield of your thoughts. So tell me, when was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts? Not scrolling, not numbing yourself with distractions, not avoiding, but truly thinking, strategizing, mapping out your next move like a warrior preparing for battle. If the answer is never, then I have news for you. You are at war, and you are unarmed. The world is thinking for you. Your habits are thinking for you. Your fears are thinking for you. And until you take control, you will remain a pawn in someone else's game. So I challenge you, right now, to stop, to shut out the noise, to sit in silence, to force your mind to do the work most people run from. Ask yourself, who am I? What do I truly want? What is stopping me from taking it? And when you answer those questions, be ruthless. Do not lie to yourself. Do not sugarcoat. Do not run from the truth that will slap you in the face and expose everything you've been avoiding. Because that is the real work. That is the work that separates the rulers from the ruled, the powerful from the powerless, the awake from the asleep. And if you refuse to do it, if you keep running, keep distracting yourself, keep numbing your mind with noise and entertainment, then understand this: You will be nothing more than another cog in a machine designed to keep you small. Because in the end, the world belongs to the thinkers, and everyone else, they are just puppets. Think, or be controlled. There is no in-between. On fire. Lesson 8. Your surroundings dictate your future. Look around you. Not just at your home, not just at your city. Look at the people in your life, the conversations you have, the energy you absorb. Because make no mistake, your surroundings are shaping you, whether you realize it or not. You think you're in control. You think you make your own decisions. But tell me, how many of your thoughts are truly your own? How many of your habits, your beliefs, your ambitions were given to you by the people you spend the most time with? The hard truth? You are the average of your environment. And if you surround yourself with weakness, you will become weak. If you surround yourself with complainers, you will become a victim. If you surround yourself with mediocrity, you will drown in it. But if you surround yourself with killers, you will become lethal. If you surround yourself with visionaries, you will see the world differently. If you surround yourself with warriors, you will develop an unbreakable mind. The question is, which one are you choosing? Because make no mistake, it is a choice. No one forces you to waste time with people who hold you back. No one forces you to absorb the poison of negativity and doubt. You choose your surroundings, and in doing so, you choose your future. So let's get honest. Who is in your circle? Are they pushing you forward, or are they dragging you down? Every person in your life is either an anchor or a sail. Anchors weigh you down. They keep you stuck. They feed you excuses, plant doubt in your mind, and pull you back into the darkness every time you try to escape. Sails, they push you forward. They challenge you. They force you to think bigger, move faster, and level up until you become the kind of person who demands success. So ask yourself, who are the anchors in your life? And more importantly, are you brave enough to cut them loose? Because here's the thing about anchors. They don't care about your dreams. They don't care about your ambition. They only care about keeping you exactly where you are. And if you let them, if you hesitate, if you keep holding on to the relationships, the habits, the environments that do nothing but hold you back, then know this, you will fail. Not because you aren't capable, not because you aren't strong enough, but because you refuse to let go of the things that were killing you. And the worst part, the people who held you back won't feel a thing. They'll keep living their small, empty lives. They'll keep making excuses. They'll keep laughing at the idea of greatness while you rot in regret. Or, you can make a different choice. You can remove yourself from weak environments. You can cut off distractions like a blade through dead flesh. You can walk away from anyone who doesn't force you to become better. And when you do, when you finally surround yourself with people who refuse to settle, who demand more, who look at the world and see something to be conquered rather than something to endure, you will change. Your mindset will shift. Your confidence will rise. Your ambition will multiply. And one day, without even realizing it, you will have become someone unrecognizable to the version of you that once settled for less. So I'll ask you one last time, who are you surrounded by? And if the answer is anything less than absolute power, then you already know what you need to do. Choose your circle wisely, or be buried with the weak. On fire. If you've made it this far, you're not like the rest. Most people, they hear the truth, they feel the fire for a moment, and then they go right back to their comfortable little cages. But you're still here. That means something. That means you're built differently. That means something inside you refuses to die quietly. And for those of you who keep coming back, you are the warriors of this movement. You've chosen to wake up, to challenge yourself, to burn away the weakness that society tried to force feed you. I see you. I respect you. And this is just the beginning. For those of you who are new here, this isn't just a channel. This is a movement. The GrimFace Movement is for the ones who refuse to follow. The ones who choose to carve their own path, no matter how brutal, no matter how lonely. So if you're ready to kill your excuses, master your mind, and take back control of your life, hit that subscribe button. Join the GrimFace Movement. Because here we don't just talk about success, we take it. And remember, the world belongs to those who refuse to kneel. Stay sharp, stay ruthless, stay relentless. Now go, build and conquer, and take what's yours.